All right, welcome back to the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call powered by FanDuel Sportsbook. I'm Rich Walsh along with Chris Muller over at the 93.7 The Fan Cam. And Chris, you know, one of the things I wanted to talk about tonight, Pitt football. I picked to finish 8th. Now, I'm always a realist when it comes to Pitt football. I always have them 7, maybe 8 wins. I understand what kind of program it is over there. I think they can be a top 25 program. They should be, top 25 to 30, 20, in that range on a consistent basis. But the ACC media picked them to finish 8th, and I think that's a little bit of disrespect this year. I think they should be a little bit higher. I think they're going to win 7 games this year, and I would lean towards 8 instead of 6 if you had to ask me.
Well, I think the reason you've got the ACC media feeling some kind of way about Pitt and having them middle of the road, even in an unusual season where they only had one major opt-out, right, in the form of Twyman, it's that ACC media has seen this team for how many years, Rich? And you know that even though I went to Penn State, I root for Pitt. I identify with them a little bit. They're at times a lovable loser, even when they have talent. So I think the people that cover the conference probably know best that even when Pat Narduzzi has what is absolutely his most complete roster on paper since he's been here, that you can't really trust this team. The defense is good enough to suggest that they should beat all but maybe 1 or 2 teams on that schedule, Clemson being the definite one. The offense should have continuity with Whippleback and Pickett kind of having a real sense of, hey, the offense is staying the same from year to year. But until we see it from Pitt, why would anybody believe it? That's been the problem with them, since time immemorial here. Since what, 1981?
Yeah,
we all know that they have great individual talent, and it never seems to pay off with a double-digit, or this year it'd be a little different, win season. So
we all like their defense, and you know what? The offense does worry me. I get that. They don't know. I don't see any big-time weapons, and I'm still struggling whether Kenny Pickett is a good quarterback or not. I still don't see him as a top-tier quarterback, even though he's going into a senior year and he started a lot of games, and now he has a chance to be in an offense for the second year. The offense really worries me, and it especially really worries me when Pat Narduzzi comes in and makes some different calls at points and sometimes loses his mind there on offense with some of the calls that he makes. But the offense is worrying me, especially because Pickett doesn't have any big-time weapons, at least in my opinion. I don't think they do.
He needs to be the weapon. Like, I hate to oversimplify football. Their defense is really good. It's going to be their calling card this year. And I know in college that's a little different. That can still look like giving up a decent amount of points, but by and large being pretty stout just with the way the game is played. It really is a quarterback's sport at both the highest 2 levels, NFL and major college football. What Pitt does or doesn't do this year, I think, is largely predicated on whether or not Kenny Pickett having the same coordinator and the same offense for 2 straight years is actually the tonic he needs. Narduzzi did him no favors when he beat Miami as a freshman and talked about how they had found their quarterback and this and that, and he has just scuffled ever since to find any kind of consistent footing. So I think that if he is able to take something resembling a real step forward and sort of be the guy in command of the offense and not the guy trying to learn it just like everybody else, they've got a shot. If he doesn't, it's going to be another one of those years that frustrates Pitt fans.
All right, let's go out to Brian in Coriopolis. How you doing, Brian?
Hey, Richie and Chris. Love the show. Hey, couple 2-part question here. What do you think the loss of an All-American and a 3-year player on defense, how does it affect their defense? And your thoughts on the All-ACC team that was announced today.
You know what, Chris? I'll address the losing, one of their best defenders opting out. You know what? It's a big loss, but I think they're still strong up front there.
Yeah, Twyman's a huge loss. I mean, he's a player that everybody has sort of marked for a high draft position, maybe a first 2-round type of position in the NFL. But that's the one place on the roster where I think you feel like they have really built up a ton of depth. And it'll hurt, but it shouldn't be like the end of the world. It's not like they're entirely predicated on defense on what he's able to do. They still have a lot of talent up front. As far as, 3 selections, I think, first team All-ACC, that's about what they should have. That's about befitting, to me, a team that falls in the middle of the pack. I don't know about you, but the fact that they have 3 guys on the first team, by the way, is just more evidence. There is individual talent within this program. Can they ever put it all together?
Yeah, you would think if you have 3 guys on the first team that you should be higher than 8th, at least in a. But, you know, this is the media. They're wrong all the time anyway, so I think they'll be a little bit higher.
We're the media. Are you
Yeah,
saying
well,
we're wrong? What
yeah,
are
I'm
you
saying
talking
the
about?
ACC media. I don't get to vote on that. Do you? Does anyone in Pittsburgh have a vote? Maybe one of the writers, maybe. But
Richie, they wouldn't let me vote on like the MVP of like a turkey bowl in somebody's backyard, all right?
you know, I think you're going to see this year like a typical year, like we talked about. They're going to have a big win, and I don't know whether that's going to be over Notre Dame or Clemson or something like that, but they're also going to have a big loss like they always do. That's your typical Pitt team. They're going to disappoint you. They're not going to lose to Austin Peay.
Well, when do we stop saying that? When do we stop saying that
I
about
know.
them? I mean, you lay it out, though, and I know you suffer with this like anybody else because you actually went to Pitt. You're a letter winner, a varsity letter winner in track and field. You're a great Pitt athlete. I'm not even saying that to pump your tires here and being serious, but when do we stop saying that? How many coaches have we been saying that for? I say this like a long-suffering Pitt fan. The song remains the same every single year, regardless of whose regime it is, and that's pretty depressing.
All right, let's go out to Tony in Jefferson Hills. How you doing, Tony?
Hey, Rich, how you doing? Hey, Chris, how you doing?
Good, thanks for calling.
Yeah, I was concerned, and I was wondering how that match went with you and Pomp today. I had to shoot a message out to Josh Taylor to see if he got any updates of that match and see who was winning that. It seems like that's a pretty big deal in the Pittsburgh area here, and I want to see how that turned out.
Well,
Richie forced a game 4. He forced a
a
deciding
game
4. He had a lot of people really cheering him on. I think Pony was placing bets on this whole thing. There were betting lines that were being placed. Richie had a lot of people cheering him on. Pomp had probably more people, let's be honest. But we all wanted to see a deciding game 4, and that's what Richie's performance gave us.
I didn't want to go 0-2-1, here. I needed to win one. So we're both 1-1-1.
You lost at your home club.
I did.
That's the real thing
Pump
here.
shot 76
How did you lose
there.
at your home track?
Pump shot 76 there. How do you beat that? We're
So
giving him 10 shots.
You're a 3 handicap.
Today we played straight up, and Pony made the line. Pony's good at this. He's good at predictions and lines. He made the line 10. And it fell right at 10. I shot 77. He shot 87. But we played match play. So,
I'm going to lord that over, Pump. Did you guys play the white tees today?
Yeah, we did play the white tees. So
I'm going to lord it over him because when I played the whites at Longview, I shot 84. So I might have to throw a little trash talk his way in advance of Game 4 here because I might have to put a few ducats here on Richie Walsh in Game 4.
I don't know where Game 4 is going to be, but I'm pretty excited about it. Yeah. All right. Speaking of the big match, that's our Tri-State Office Furniture Tweet of the Night. Pomp, giving me a little bit of credit. Big Match 3 has forced a Big Match 4. Richie Walsh evens overall record after beating me. I beat him 4-3, so it's 1-1-1 record after 3 events. So it's been fun. We're going to keep this going. All right, back with more of your phone calls coming up next. Stay right there.